You've got an idea. It's been an idea that's been nudging you for quite a while. In fact, if you got really honest with yourself, you'd realize it's your dream. You have a dream, you have a desire, you have an initiative that you really want to put focus into. Yet every time you think about it, you literally start hyperventilating a little bit because it just seems like it is not the right time. This is just not the right time. That you've got people that you got to take care of. There's more prep work that you have to do. You can go down the list to give you all the reasons why it is not the right time to do it. Today, I kind of got stuck. I said, what do you say to that? Well, here's what you say to that. What you say to that is, today I want to help you get clear around how do you know whether or not it's your time, if this is the time. If you're liking what you're hearing as we go through this, we're going to spend about 20-25 minutes together today, really going into a process of understanding when it is your time. How do you know that it's your time to do this, to put aside all the excuses and just go do it? So we're going to spend about 20-25 minutes today going deep into that topic. If you like what you're here, then please drop some thumbs up, and good to see you all that are on, and some hearts so I know that this is speaking to you. And if you want my notes and more information about things that are coming up, if you want my notes, put the word now in the comment section and we'll make sure my team and I will get that to you. So it's good to see you all. Michelle, really good to see you. What time is it there? And Michelle, send me, put in the comment section what time it is. Okay, so you know the problem. We've all been there. You have this initiative, you have a desire, there's a dream that's percolating inside of you. And every time you think about really going for it, you just get this list of reasons why this is not the right time. It may be that you've got other people that you need to tend to. You've got your kids, you got your parents. It may be that you know that there's more training that you need to do. It may be that, oh, where'd you go? Sorry about that. It may be that you want to get your ducks in a row. If you could just get this one more thing worked out, that when you really got started, everything would just go so much more smoothly. The conversation that you have with yourself, that you're just continuously giving yourself reasons why this is not the right time. So how do you know when it's the right time? How do you know when it's time to go for it? Well, here are 3 ways that you know it's time for you to go for it. Number 1, think about when you first had the idea. How long has that idea been percolating? How long have you been playing and toying with and just allowing it to marinate in your mind? If you took the time to really think about the answer to that question, my bet is that you would be astounded at the length of time that you've been playing with this idea. That this didn't just pop in out of nowhere, but that you have actually had this idea in some way, shape, or form percolating in your mind. So think about how long has it been? And really get honest with yourself. A month? 2 months? A year? Years? In some way, shape, or form. One of the questions that I ask at events that I do, and I've got one coming up actually next week, so if you want more information about that, we can definitely send that to you. But I'll have people go through what's called an aliveness inventory and support you in looking at where are the places that you're feeling the discontent in your life, and where are the places that you've buried the dream, that you've push the dream underground. And then I support you in really answering the question, how long has the desire for that dream been there? And it's stunning. It's not surprising, but it's stunning the length of time that people will share. Number one, that the discontent has been there. And number two, that the dream for something more just has been percolating in the back of your mind. What people erroneously believe is that you've got lots of time. You've got lots of time to do this. So let me take care of these things first, then I'll get to this. You know, I who knows, maybe I've got another 20, 30 years that I can do this. You know, maybe not. We absolutely have no idea how much time we really have. This has been a summer for me of really discovering that, as I have dealt with illness in family members and the death of a family member. Unexpected, relatively young. We truly have no idea how much time we have. The other thing is, it's to realize the impact that our no has, because we think that we have time. So number one, look at how long has the desire for this dream been there, and then ask yourself. You know, one of the things that I encourage people to do is to give it the 5-year out test, or even the year out. So let's go a year out. Let's say you and I are in a conversation and you're sharing with me about your life. And rather than telling me about everything that you love about your life, you're sharing with me how your life basically hasn't changed. Hey, Gloria, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Gloria, Mary, I see you on here as well. Both of you all have taken such profound quantum leaps into what's next for you. So I just so grateful that you're here and really celebrate that you knew it was your time. Gloria, you knew it was your time to take this leap. So it's the year out test. It's the 5-year out. It's the 5-year test. And you imagine you're in the exact same conversation you were a year ago, 5 years ago. How does that feel? How does that feel to be in that same conversation? Oftentimes I'll run into people who we had an interaction. They might have come to a workshop that I've done. They thought about getting support. Now, this is not about coming into support with me, although that's always available, but this is about really making a decision for your dream. You know, they thought about going for their dream, but they found another reason to put it on hold. I tell you, it's one of the most tragic things when I run into people and we have a conversation and they basically tell me that their life is the same, that there's really nothing about their life that has changed. And they still have all the reasons are lining up, and yet they're still in the same conversation. So for you, if you've not taken the leap, or if you're ready to take that next even greater leap, how long will you circle around in this dream? And what if you are in the same conversation you're in now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? How is that going to feel? Pay attention to your life force. And there's a part of you that wants to contract. That's your indicator that now is your time. Now is your time. All right. So if you want my training notes and more information about what we're up to, put the word now in and we'll get that information to you. And, drop some hearts if now is your time. Now is your time to really step into what's really seeking to come alive inside of you. All right. Number 2, how do you know it's your time? Ask who's going to be impacted. So ask yourself, who's going to be impacted by your yes? So often we say no to whatever's arising inside of us because of our concern of how it's going to negatively impact the people around us. Rarely do we really look at the positive impact that your yes would have. So several years ago, Michael and I were in Tennessee, and we went through a number of different circumstances and situations that caused us to grow. So that's code for we went through a really tough time. We went through on the human level, it was a really, really difficult time. Grateful for it today. Absolutely created a degree of growth in me that I don't know would have happened otherwise. I'll never really know for sure. But anyway, we're coming out of the back end of that, and I got really clear. It was time for us to move. It was time for us to release where we were, and it was time for us to move. Now, the caveat was that several years earlier, my father has advanced stages Alzheimer's. He had Alzheimer's at the time. It wasn't, actually he has end stages Alzheimer's now, but at the time Alzheimer's was setting in, and he's bipolar. So his behavior was even more erratic. So I moved him from Louisiana up to Tennessee, got him settled in after several psychiatric stays, after lots of intense conversation with family, some agreeing, not necessarily agreeing with what it was that I was doing, but finally got him settled in. Everything was settled. And I got really clear that we were complete with Tennessee. It was time for us to move. Now, I took on taking care of my dad. I took on the responsibility of my dad and knew I couldn't leave him there. He was an assistant. I moved him into an assistant living facility. So I knew I couldn't leave him there. I couldn't go and leave him. And when I began to think about moving him, the only thing I could think was, it wasn't the only thing. There was a part of me that started thinking, oh my gosh, this is so irresponsible. It's so inconsiderate. It's so disrespectful of your father. You're going to put him through that kind of trauma of moving when he experienced such trauma the first time coming from Louisiana to Tennessee. You're going to do this to him? These are the thoughts that are going through my head. Just wait. Just be a good daughter and just wait. And here's the end of that statement. Wait until he dies. Just wait until your dad dies. Now, think about that. And here's what I know. So please tell me I'm not the only one that finds themselves and that found herself in that kind of situation where you're waiting for something to happen for or to somebody else in order for it to be okay for you to move forward. So that thought, just wait till he dies, just wait till he dies. I'm so grateful for my willingness to stay in a structure support and stay in a training so I could learn to hear my thinking, get support from somebody outside of me around my thinking. And I was able to move to the place of, you know what, if this is good for me, it's good for him. There is no private good. I want you to write that one down. There is no private good. What's good for you is good for everyone around you. Now, not everybody's going to see it, but I made the decision that if for me to stay in Tennessee, waiting for my dad to die, was actually doing him a disservice. I couldn't see how it was all going to play out. I didn't know how it was all going to play out going forward, but I knew deep down that the most loving thing that I could do was to follow that divine inspiration and move everybody. And I'll never forget. And when I say everybody, myself, my husband, my father, our animals, just, move the whole kit and caboodle. And we decided on California. And I'll never forget going in and talking to the director of the facility. And I was shaken. And I just knew I was, I had prepared myself. I had steeled myself for her disapproval and her just contempt. I was just waiting for her contempt of me. And I sat down and I'm just like, I'm doing this and I don't care what you think. Now, obviously I didn't say it like that, but I talked to her about, this is where we are and this is where we feel like we need to go, and I'm not going to leave my dad. I want him to be close to me, so I'm taking him with me. I'm taking him with me. I will never forget her reaction. She literally leaned across her desk. Oh, I got tears when I think about it. And took my hand and looked me in the eye and said, I am so glad this is what you're doing, that you're not going to wait for your father to die. Now, I didn't say those words, but she works in an industry where a lot of times, people will put their lives on hold waiting for fill in the blank. And in her situation, with what she saw, literally waiting for people to die. And she's like, I am so thrilled that this is what you're doing. And you just tell us whatever we have to do to help make this an easy transition for everybody. And it was such confirmation for the inward knowing, right? And really allowed me to see the stories that I can weave with absolutely no evidence and without awareness and without support. Let those stories then dictate future actions, future decisions. Now, the really good thing about this is that as I listened to now's the time to do it and didn't, good, Gloria, didn't put it on hold based on a story I was telling myself, I was actually able to move my dad to a facility that was better equipped to deal with him, because we were going to end up having to move him anyway, because he was reaching the point where he was no longer appropriate for that facility. So they would move him into a facility that is actually better equipped to deal with him. And he got to see family, or family got to see him so much more often, because one of the reasons why we moved out to California is that I have family up and down the coast, that up in San Francisco, down to Orange County, and Long Beach. But they got to spend more time with him as a result of him being closer in proximity. And it's 5.5 years later, and he's still here. He's still here, which I'm thrilled. I make a joke about how he refuses to die because hospice keeps calling me and saying, any day, any day, any day. It's like, man, you don't know my dad. He's going to outlive everybody. I mean, effectively, he's outlived 2 of his kids. But it's like, you don't know my dad. And to think that if I was waiting for him to die, the level of resentment I would have toward him, hopefully I would be able to work with it, but to put my life on hold waiting for somebody else to die. So when you think about who's going to be impacted with your yes, notice how you've stacked reasons around who's going to be impacted because of your no, to give you a really good reason not to move forward. Well, now I'm going to encourage you to stack the evidence around who's going to be impacted because of your yes. And when you see who's being impacted because of your yes, and here's what I know, because of my yes to move to California has caused an exponential growth in me, which has allowed me to grow my ability to serve at a much higher level. And I can look at some of the names on here. I know it's happening for you, Gloria, and Mary, and Luce, some of the amazing things that are happening for you, Luce. I don't know that we would have met if I would have stayed in Tennessee. So when I look at the ripple effect of my yes, I see that decision at an untimely time truly was divinely guided. So when you think into your dream and you see how your yes reverberates out beyond you, and you see the people that you're impacting, do you see that now you want to move on your dream? And are you impacting people in a way that absolutely brings you alive and is yours to do? And if your answer's yes, then guess what? It's your time. It's your time. That the fear of impacting negatively, you want the fear you want the image of how you're impacting people for the better, to override the fear of how your yes is going to impact people negatively. And you go back to the nature of your desire. Gloria, this is a good one for you to hear. The nature of your desire is God-given. That desire is divinely inspired, divinely guided, which means as you say yes, you will be shown how to support everyone in a life-giving way. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to come along, literally and figuratively, but it's not your job to help somebody stay comfortable in their status quo by saying no to what's coming alive in you. That when you say no to what's coming alive in you out of fear of causing discomfort in somebody else, you're actually doing them a disservice. Let me say that one again. When you say no to what's coming alive in you out of fear of how it's going to possibly make someone else in your life uncomfortable, and you say no to maintain their status quo, you are actually doing them a disservice. So look to see who your yes is going to impact. All right. And if you see that it's a positive impact, or that you are supporting somebody in their status quo, then it's your time. It's your time. All right. Number 3. How do you know it's your time? All right. Take your dream and reduce it down to the ridiculous. So, Mary, you're on here. This will be a good one for you. Take your dream and reduce it down to the ridiculous. And what I mean by this, I just had a great VIP session with the client yesterday and just got an email from her. And I'm not going to talk details or names because this was, her sacred time. But, and what I've watched, and this was just a brilliant example of it, is that oftentimes people will have a dream and it would just feel so big and you get overwhelmed by the bigness. And there's a part of me that wants to shut down because it feels so big. But as we began to break it down and look at, okay, so what does it really mean? When you think about the nuts and bolts of putting this into your daily routine and taking action on this on a consistent basis and bringing in these results. And here's what it really means. And we broke it down. We just broke it down to the ridiculous. It's like this, what it means per month. This is what it means per quarter. This is what it means per year. And she, talking about building out a business at different levels. I always giggle, and I do it myself, right? This is what I cause myself to do that when there's that in me that wants to, oh my God, this is too big. I can't do it. It's like, well, let's shine the light of awareness on it and really look at it for what it is. It's like, okay, is it really? It's like, well, when you break it down and you look at, all right, this is the number and this is what I could do. We're not making a plan, but you're just, putting on different possibilities. You look at it and you think, it was just so much fun because it was like, wow, I can do that. I can do that. It's like, yes, you can. And look how simple it really can be. We make it, there's a part of us that we can just get so skilled at making things a big deal when they really are very simple. So, Mary, when you think about the amazing coaching business that you're creating, and you have a certain level of income that you want to generate every month, knowing that it represents impact. How many people does it really require you to serve in order to create a certain level of income? And I think you and I did a little bit of this, but to break it down to the ridiculous, because, what she found was that in one particular area, it was 3 a month. 3 a month. Anybody can do that. Mary, you can do that. You can, Gloria, when you think about, for you, and the thing that you want to create, Luce, when you look at, when you just break it down and you realize, wow, it's nowhere near what I thought. It's this, I can do this. And it's from that place that you then get to decide, so do I want to go forward? So when you can break it down and you see that you really are capable of doing this, then to check in and ask, so do I still really want to do it? Would I love this? And if your answer's yes, then you know it's your time. And to get started with that first step, that to bring in this form that you can see you can do this. All right. So how do you know it's your time? Number one, look at how much time you've been marinating. Marinating is not the right word, that you've been wallowing in this idea, in this dream, and how much time, how much longer are you willing to put it off? And if you know you don't want to be in the same conversation a year from now, you know it's your time. Number two, when you think about you living into your dream, and you see the people that you're impacting, you can see the reverberation of the work that you're bringing, or the dream that you're bringing. That it's not all about your work, but the dream that you're bringing, and you can see the reverberation of your impact. And you know you don't want to withhold that good any longer. You know it's your time. And number three, you take your dream and you break it down to the ridiculous. You really break it down to see how easy it really is for you to do this. And you see it and you come alive at the possibility of it. You know it's your time. All right. So if you want my training notes and you want more information about my live event, several of you that I see on here, you're coming next week. I'm just so thrilled. October 5th, 6th, and 7th, Torrance, California. Next week, we're a little more than a week out. We're just a week and a few days out. If you want to take that bold move, that you don't want to wait any longer on your dream, and you know it's your time and you want help. You know it's your time and you want help. Put the word now, and you'll definitely get the training notes. And then put the word event in the comment section. If you want more information about the event, put that word in, and we will personally go in and make sure that you get information about my upcoming event, because I would love to support you in getting off the start, the starting line, and really get you going. Don Schuler once said that most people get stuck at the start. So let's get you off the start and get you going. All right, there we go. So love to hear your comments about how this has served you, how you're going to, yes, thank you, Severina. If you register before October 1st, you get $100 off the weekend pass. So that's our way of helping you move in the direction of your dream and get support with it. So it has been my joy to share this information. This will be my last official weekly live. I'll be doing videos and coming on. I will continue to come on live in the Facebook group. So if you want information about the Facebook group, you can put that in the comment section. I come in a couple times a week and do little mini lessons, so you can have access to that. And also the YouTube videos that I'll be putting up, I'll be putting them on the business page, so you'll get those as well. All right, it has been my joy to serve you in this way and with this information. Your dream is my passion. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. And whatever you're dreaming up, remember, it is not your dream, but it is the universe seeking expression by means of you. And I look forward to hearing from you. Mwah. God bless.